This is the Benjamin Zulu Global. Welcome our viewers from all over the world to the home of the Heart Matters. We're converging to learn together because when you know better, you can do better. And a better life is what we all want. Better work life, better family life, better personal life.
Today's topic is very close to home for me, and I know also for a lot of our viewers. Why are there so many divorces in Africa?
And I hope you know there could be more. We just don't do the divorce thing.
Oh, dead marriages.
Yes, thank you. The few divorces you can see
Yeah.
are from rebels. The few who are bold enough to be real.
Yes.
The rest have been told that God hates divorce. That marriage is for better, for worse. And another group has nowhere to go to.
Oh, I don't know why that took me a minute. Do you never have nowhere to go
Yes,
to?
they have no life.
Or do you think you have nowhere to go to?
In their mind, they have nowhere. It's both they think, and it's both as their reality. So your mind is creating your reality.
Okay.
They never created a life beyond the marriage. Yeah. Don't you remember just a few years ago in the village, girls were coming and going away in a swarm like bees. They finish secondary school, they get married.
Yeah.
The trend was not go to life. Starting life was getting married.
Yeah.
that was the trend.
Okay.
And now it's just 10 years later, just 20 years later.
Yeah.
They got into things that are just suffocating them to death. But where do I go? I can't feed these children. I can't leave my children. I can't make it on my own. And the other group knows they should. They could. They have the capacity, and they know they can. But the rural African life is a prison. Practically speaking, that person needs to create a total other life.
Yeah.
Which is too much work. For most of them, they just live parallel lives. Yeah. Or they wait for the person to send them to an early grave. People are being killed by bad marriages day in, day out. But on the death certificate, they write what? TB, they write cancer, they write. And those diseases can occur by themselves, but many of them are caused by stress from marriage.
Yeah.
Or they are made worse.
Yeah.
Suicide, slow suicide of drunkenness.
Yeah.
STIs from just being unsatisfied at home and trying to find satisfaction out there.
Yeah.
Depression related. Anything, if there's a leading cause of death in Africa, is bad marriages.
I don't know why that makes me feel like crying.
Yes, it is. For men and women. As I told you, the good-hearted man, the husband material is a different breed. It's not the kind of man you've heard from media.
Yeah, that's true.
The honest man is not uncaring, don't care, kick and go, smart and smash and run. He's not like that. He can't even bring himself to do that. He can't walk out of his children for his own life. And he knows the children need the mother. He will stay there and continue paying, coming home, and you'll be killed with the diseases. The good man is not, he's more vulnerable. He's as vulnerable as the woman. The men you've had in society who don't care and get children all over here are not husband materials, those are just male things with his palms.
There's someone I watched just from a distance. I watched his journey when he met this lady, and the lady was so turbulent. He was a good man, very gentle, quiet, and he was disturbed for a long time. They got married, they got children, and then he changed and just became a stranger. The drunkard, sleeping out at night, sleeping around. I've seen him change from such a good man to something else.
And I tell you, you can predict the next change. To be from a living man to a dead man.
Oh.
That's what is happening.
That's sad.
And there's this narrative in Africa that they promote divorce. So they stigmatize anybody who wants to liberate themselves.
Yes.
They make you feel like you are going against an established tradition that all of us are here to support marriage.
Yeah.
And Africa has that notion whereby just previously, is it 50 years ago, we depended on communal life for survival. So it was one big homestead.
Yeah.
Even wedding cards recently were not the people getting married who would invite you. It was their parents
Yeah.
inviting you for the marriage of their daughter, their son.
Yes.
We have only evolved to independence recently.
Yeah.
So if it was, everything was overseen by parents and society and the larger community, it looked like when the marriage breaks, the community has failed to reconcile, has failed in their reconciliation efforts.
Oh.
It's like they have failed in sustaining these things. Like they have failed in advising, in guiding. Because there was so much invested interests.
Yeah.
The individual had to suffer there. They try to go away, the only person they can talk to is auntie. Auntie is always for persevere. They try to call relatives, the only persevere. So Africa, we're in a mayhem. Our problem is not just financial. It's familial, it's family, it's marital. The family is the cell. It's the cell, it's a primary unit where we make money, where we plan things. And I had one CEO being honest, very rare thing, with his workers. Telling them,
Oh, yes.
we like to tell you that your
That's
work
rare.
should come first and all that.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you, for me, my work does not come first. And it should not come first for you. My family comes first. If my child is unwell, I love my job, but please, I'll attend my child first.
Was that CEO you? Sounds like something you say.
He tells them, I want you to come to work, pay attention, give it your best. This is part of your life. But remember, your life has several departments. And if you start collapsing at home, even here you will collapse.
True.
And he was quoting one of the guys there. Some of you here, when your wife is not at home, we can tell. You come here yawning. You are hungry.
Yeah.
The one who packs food for you was not there.
Yeah.
So today you're surviving in Ngumu and Koko. And you are moody here. You're not even productive.
Yeah.
When you are quarreling with your husband, we can tell. You know, you can quarrel with me as your boss, and at home you're happy. But if you quarrel with your husband, here you are not happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It goes, you know. Africa is because at home we have quarrels, that at work we are not functioning. It affects our leadership, it affects everything, because the people we nominate, people we make leaders, go there when they have failing families, and they spread that energy all over.
Yeah.
That the people who try to be sober, they look like they're outcasts. And so now the culture of older men dating younger girls, having all these relationships, is popularized by leaders. Popularized by people who look like they have money.
Yeah.
Having clandestines all over. Getting children as a transaction too. As a cash cow. That human being they create there, in that uncaring environment. You have, what will become of them? We have created an environment of confusion. We have managed to break down from what we used to hold dear.
Yeah.
I want to tell you why our marriages are breaking down. And number one is because we deny our brokenness and we bleed on our marriages to death. We bleed on our marriages until they die. We deny our brokenness.
Yeah.
We came from polygamous environments full of strife. Most Africans, there was some polygamy somewhere nearby.
Yeah.
If not their parents, it was grandparents, or that is their parents were dealing with step-sisters, step-uncles, step this, step that. And polygamy almost always brings strife.
Yeah. Why did you say almost always and not always?
You may find that the patriarch lives long and he can keep people united.
Ah, okay.
But usually after they die, chaos erupts. You may find a few cases where the strife was not direct, or it came generations later. But because of the conflict of interest,
Yeah,
there is almost always strife.
I get you.
Okay? So, God did not recommend, the Bible does not recommend polygamy just records it as a historical thing.
Yeah.
People may say it is in the Bible. Not everything in the Bible is recommended, just like murder. We are saying part of what you're going to realize in Africa why our marriages are not working, because we are coming from a place of trauma. That word is not even there in our vocabulary. Is it there? It's not. Nobody taught you trauma. When they study trauma in the medical world, they're talking about a muscle that has been disturbed, caused pain.
Like an injury.
Yes. So that word is not in our mind. It looks extreme. Trauma. Me, I don't have trauma. I'm not traumatized.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm managing.
Yeah.
Life is not perfect.
Yeah.
We shame psychological institutions, and I hope in Kenya in particular we stop that.
Yeah.
That Mathari Hospital has been a lifesaver for many families I've met. It is the best psychiatric for mental health, for government. They have drugs there you wouldn't find anywhere else, even affordably. And they have given people a second chance at life. And they have outpatient. You're not always going there for admission. I don't know why people take it like that. They have outpatient. Lily, I hope you don't wait for crisis of life to teach you. Sometimes just learn by yourself.
Yeah.
One nutritionist said most people learn about blood pressure when they get it.
Yeah.
Diabetes when they get it.
Yeah.
And she said a prayer nobody wanted to say amen. He said some people before they get a full-blown chronic condition, they usually get a scare. An incident of symptoms that if you manage it, it goes away. If you change your lifestyle, you never get the disease. So the Swahili saying of if you trip, you may prevent a fall.
Yes.
And she was saying, if it will take you guys to be shocked, that you can wake up. Particularly, if I ask you now right off head, which chronic conditions are in your family? You don't know them because you're not paying attention. You have to think. You know. She said, do you know your family tree is the first predictor of whether you will get a chronic condition? You may know that your grandma was diabetic, but you don't think about it. You know?
Oh my, I had never thought about high blood pressure, and also even in the passing that I thought about it until a very close auntie of mine got it and she's in a coma.
Yes. Why is it coma? It took long before it was detected.
Yeah. It was a medicine. You have to take medicine every day.
Yes.
So for her, she knew she had it.
Okay.
She got a stroke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So it was a medicine thing.
And look, when it is somewhere in your blood, there's a lady who says that genetics load the gun, your lifestyle pulls the trigger.
Oh.
When it is in your genetics, your gun is loaded.
Where?
Continue living carelessly and you pull the trigger. Other people may take 7 spoonfuls of sugar. And because they don't have a loaded gun, they may or they may not catch diabetes.
Yeah.
But you, who has a genetic predisposition, you will pull that trigger. Another problem with those things is they don't give you symptoms immediately they arrive. They cause damage fast. So I worked with a person whose dad had died in his 50s for diabetes complication. And then they misdiagnosed.
Yeah.
He died unnecessarily.
Yeah.
For something very treatable.
Yeah.
But he was just not self-aware. Most of the foods you take are very unhealthy. They're just full of sugar. Somebody has wrote a book calling sugars pure white, pure poison, suggesting it should be banned, but saying it will be very difficult because sweet things are hardly get banned. We can't get consensus over sweet things. We can never get consensus over alcohol. Over sugar. When they are sweet, we don't want to ban them.
Yeah.
So it's you in your life to control it. Do you know, but there is an alternative sugar?
I know.
That is not made from sugar cane. It's made from a fruit they call monk fruit. It has the carbs. It's zero. It's sweet, but very safe. It looks like they even make variants, white and brown.
Oh.
I
didn't know that. Is it the one that you find in restaurants? They call it something.
No, they can never bring it to restaurants. It costs almost 5 times like normal sugar. So I'm sure it will not find in normal restaurants.
Okay.
But I used to think when you don't want to take this sugar, your food become boring, tasteless. I realized alternatives exist. That nutritionist was challenging us. We also have sweeteners that are very safe. Many of them are fake. They're just another form of sugar. But we have sweeteners that are very safe. And you can enjoy your meals without poisoning your system. So when you drew in it, psychology, you drew a family tree, but at that time we were detecting psychological problems.
Yeah.
You should draw genogram, that family tree. Sometimes even if you're not drawing it with a pen, don't wait until you're in a crisis where you're trying to detect what is killing you. You don't have energy for interview and they're asking you questions. Is that this in your family? Can you think of that? Don't you know? And some of these people are dying, by the way, and you need to know what they were dying with.
You know, yeah, I was watching a show and someone was being interviewed and he fainted during the interview.
Yes. And people brushed the idea.
Yeah.
People brushed the idea.
Yeah.
You know, he said later it was stress.
Yeah.
I know it can be stress or it can be a chronic condition beginning to show.
Yeah.
Beginning to show.
Yeah.
Because many of them nowadays are having a very onset. Like women are having a lot of reproductive problems very early. The fibroids are arriving before this person takes. They used to blame family planning. This person has never taken any. That's too young.
Yeah.
You know, they came to realize these things can be passed down. And our diets and the things we are taking, many of them are very poisoned with agri-chemicals. You know, if you look at where we are getting our vegetables, for example, we never knew the correlation until the research is showing us. You guys, you are taking things that have metal pollutants.
Yeah.
You know, from factories and sewage, river, and somebody's planting vegetables there, bringing them to your table. You know, and you're wondering where is this coming? I'm careful. You know, we are saying in Africa we are coming from traumatic backgrounds where we don't study our history. I just picked the biological, the obvious, the most life-threatening diseases to show you how blind we're just facing forward. It is very important to look back. We said those who don't understand history are condemned to repeat it.
Yes.
Some people tell you my family is cursed, nobody maintains marriage. We are always divorcing. But they don't tell you the cost. They just tell you I'm determined not to follow that. I'll stay here. So you'd rather die there than find out why they're divorcing.
Yeah.
And many of them, you come to realize that it's because their self-esteem is damaged. Again, you don't hear the language of self-esteem in Africa. You don't hear the language of affirmation, validation, love, affection, attention. No, nobody does that. And men stay away in drinking dens or in with their friends or with church. They just stay away from home during the social hour.
Yeah.
Between work time and bedtime, that's when we have social hour. More men don't come home. Can we learn to just go home? If a man goes home, I will also ask him to just go home.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful when dad is around and he's friendly. He's not here to terrorize people.
I know, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you can be there for a child. These children pass through your hands so quickly. Listen to their stories while they are home.
Yeah.
While they're interested to tell their stories.
There are children who will not sleep until daddy comes.
That is so wonderful.
I love that.
One day they will run out of stories. Huh?
Yeah.
These kids, after they reach secondary school, they change.
They do.
They stop telling you stories. And you're seated there.
But I have met a couple that told me that they were very good friends with their teenage children, and that was encouraging.
No, I'm telling you, if you connect to them when they're young, they'll never lose the connection.
Yes.
The Creator told you to teach the child the way they should go when they're young. When they're old, I'm just saying, if you learn to ignore them, you are teaching them something they will master.
Yeah. Oh. They'll master it.
Yes. They will leave home. And you come home. And they're gone. You only talk when it's necessary. You taught them that is not there with you.
Yeah.
It's just not there.
Yeah.
And people say, oh, how come mothers, children, I prefer, you're inciting children. The mother was just closer.
Yeah.
Not all mothers, but there are many mothers who are closer to children. They understand their needs. And when the child has somebody to talk to, they just look for the mother. Dads are so good to be friends with when they have that consciousness to be friends with children. Particularly dads and sons, it's something when you cultivate it, you're going to have a very good, wonderful relationship. You should see a man and his son just walking around. Not a toddler, just a son who was grown. University or something. And they are at ease, they're talking. It's so wonderful. That partnership, even if they go to business, they usually kill it.
Yeah.
Because they have the advantage of two generations.
Yeah.
This one understands the older, this one understands the younger.
Yeah.
Experience, energy. You know, this one has networks, this one has technology, youth, you know, that perspective. If those people run anything, they will have a wider understanding. So we are saying in Africa, let's learn to, our marriages are collapsing because you are transferring what you suffered as a child, how you were abandoned, and you are looking for me to behave like your father, to fulfill the love your father never gave you, to tell you you are worthy, to help you find your talent, to help you make peace with your past, to help you stop fearing everything, to the things you expect me to do. Your dad should have done them, and you don't know. You just feel the craving. And you feel like I never love you enough. I'm trying to be a husband, you want me to be a dad. Husband and dad are different because husband expects something. There's a certain standard. Dad spoils, make you princess, you know, and all that. Husband, we are journeying together. I love you, I treasure you. There's this affection. Yes, I spoil you, but there's reciprocity. Reciprocity, you know. Dad was receiving his love from his wife. To the daughter, is just pouring. Until she's maybe grown and they can have collaborative. But when she's young, this man is just pouring. He has a dress for you, he's a pen for you. Tell me, you have my attention, you have my time, tell me anytime you need this. You're my daughter. Many times that daughter is unidirectional. And when you don't get it, and dad hardly challenge that much, or the husband expects certain kind of capacity, certain kind of maturity. So if you do not understand that, you're going to sabotage your marriage. Many men also are trying to transfer the spoiling they wish their mother did to them. And they're trying to expect that from the wife, and the wife is expecting you to be a man, a mature man. And you want to be spoiled like that small boy. And we have a lot of single parent homes more than ever. And in Africa, we don't know what that means. People think as long as I manage to go through school and get education, that's all. Let me now get married. So blind. We have so much gaps, and we're just trudging on, until we bump onto our heads onto, I don't know how two parents' home functions, how we communicate. I don't know how we solve problems. I don't know how we budget. You have men who call themselves husbands and they want to be respected as husbands, but they cannot initiate budgeting. You see, they can't initiate because they don't want to put their money on the table. Many men can't lead because they're too secretive and walled and guarded and distant. Leadership needs you to be down to earth and present.
Also, there's a misconception that leadership means do it because I said it.
You know.
No, so I don't have to be accountable. I don't have to explain myself, where I'm coming from.
Let me tell you, the marriages in Africa will heal when we learn that to lead means to be in front, but you're only leading a team. This is not a subject, this is a partner. And there are contexts when she's better and you let her lead. Submit one to another. Preach that verse as much as you preach wife submitting to the husband. And man loving the wife. The thing of alternating as a team, I like to think about it like it's us against the world. When we are together against the world, it just feels so safe. Knowing that people are trying to cut between the two of you. Come tell you, oh, this one, don't tell your husband. But you tell me, what do you think he can, hey, we do this, hey, have you tried this? You know, men, and I like this, and like that, like that. And you're thinking, the moment you say don't tell him, no, that's why I will start telling him.
I know.
You know? It's us against the world. If you can come with that as a man, your leadership will become in form of initiative. You initiate meetings. There are couples who don't have planning meetings. How do they function? The family is a system. So how are they arranging logistics, plans, projects, priorities, relationships, problems? How?
Happenstance. Is it?
That's why there are explosions. Problems grow until they explode. Many times when we do our meetings, I realize something that should have been obvious was already slipping out of mind. An important engagement that has become due that week, and we all knew it's coming. But it's on Wednesday. There were no preparation. It's on our calendars. But until we open the calendar, so what are we up to this week? This was already. So tomorrow something needs to be done in preparation for that. How far are we on this? And I never knew it's a thing until I saw many couples explaining how they do their planning meetings, how do they change their lives. And they say many times you may have, because it's a family and you're growing, you have many things running parallel.
Yeah.
They will slip through your hands. They will slip. We should plan who will represent us, how much we are giving here, how we are supporting the other one. This one is coming up, the other one is coming up. Even this child needs, this one didn't. What should come first? How much are we expecting? Where are we now? Who do we need? I can't imagine functioning without those conversations. I can't.
Yeah.
Now looking back, I'm saying, the marriage grows as you grow as people. When you have investments, you have grown. A child, you have grown. You have this community here, you have grown. When we were young, you may not have seen, you may have been doing it haphazardly. But the more you have more departments to,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
the more, and there's review over this one, suggestion over this, creativity over the other one, the other one. This one thing I suggest for African families, let us start those regular meetings to help us identify how are you overcoming that depression bouts that used to get you every time your grandma comes around.
Oh.
The triggers she brings. Every time some people now are being asked to nurse a person who abused them. This person tortured you, your childhood, now they're sick. Take care of them. Invest your money. Be there for them.
House them.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
With all forget the past, just forgive. Parents are like that.
You only have one father.
You know.
Yeah.
And I also have one appendix, and I cut it away when it threatens my life.
Oh my.
So
Yeah.
people gaslight you in all forms.
Yeah.
That is one problem. The second problem marriages are breaking in Africa is we use relatives instead of therapists.
Yes.
When there's a problem, we don't go to neutral people who are trained. We go to biased people who have conflict of interest and they're not trained. That's the problem with the relatives. You love them, but they're not trained in this kind of conflict resolution, and they have conflict of interest. They're likely to pull more to their side or to defend the other person so that they don't appear like they're defending their child. If you have a problem and we call your dad may fear that he's defending his daughter too much.
Yeah.
And may end up alienating the daughter, trying to.
Yeah. Oh.
You know.
Yeah.
Relatives are in a very bad. You should be very careful before you involve them. It's very hard for them to be neutral. The situation is very delicate.
Yeah.
The best thing is to normalize therapists. Let's remove this shaming of psychology.
Yeah.
We need it. Let's make it, and other people go to pastors. Pastor also has conflict of interest. And many of them may not be trained psychologically. They can give you what is spiritual guidance.
Yeah.
But when it comes to how you set boundaries in your marriage, how you set standards, how you don't accept disrespect, what you do when you're being disrespected, how you assert your presence, how you refuse to be put down, how you talk, how you bring collaboration, how you arrange planning meetings, how you budget. Those may not be things your spiritual leader is trained in always. Many of them study psychology, not all of them do. Some of them, apart from, forget psychology, they did not study anything, just call themselves whatever title.
Yeah.
Careful now, and they want you to be a loyal member. That membership conflict is not good. You need a person who has nothing else apart from professional duty to help you navigate your life.
Yeah.
And many Africans don't know a psychologist. They don't look, but I don't know any. Just like you didn't know any dentist of head unless you have had dental issues.
Yeah.
Unless you have decided you want to start taking care of your dental health. Some things you have to look.
Yeah.
Nowadays, internet has helped us. You can actually book a therapist anywhere, the other side of.
Yeah.
Do virtual.
Yeah.
Hear whether they understand you.
Yeah.
The other time you needed any doctor. You know how you start. You can ask a friend to check online, try to call. You're looking for a doctor for this child, and all this, who specializes with.
Yeah.
Do the same for therapy before it becomes a breaking point. Yes.
Thinking about therapy, and I know that there are people who also have had bad experiences. Maybe your first experience was bad and you just said no. You rubbished the whole profession.
Yes. You can also have bad experience with an optician.
Yeah.
because it's a new profession in Africa, it is yet to be streamlined. Many countries don't have a controlling body yet. So that is a teething problem we're having.
Okay.
But don't give up because of one experience.
Yeah.
We have many valid, just like you can see the conversations on your screens. Those professionals are also coming up.
Yeah.
One day, I hope before we close our chapter, we will become principals. We will become directors of colleges, and will employ trained psychologists. I was speaking at JFC Monene College in Thika, and they have a counselor on duty every time.
Yeah.
Employed by the school.
Yeah.
For those young ones to come and see a therapist. Start with your university, start with your college, start with the ones that have been available for you.
Yeah.
Many times your insurance actually has that facility. You can go and pay with insurance.
Yeah.
Learn to find a space you can process your thoughts. If you don't like that one, don't give up.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable, but it is necessary.
Yeah.
Trying another one until you find one you flow. Yes.
All
But
right.
hey, how did you find yours?
That's a good question. My first therapist was not the one. Let me just say that. The second one was also not the one. And the second one, particularly, something happened that was not good.
Yes.
So I'm going to rope in God, because now I even was praying for a therapist. And then one time someone asked me, I shared what I was going through with someone, and they asked me, what do you need? I said, I need a therapist. And then they recommended someone. So I did a few sessions with the third one. And somewhere within the sessions, we clicked. I just realized that he's the one.
Oh, it also took you some searching?
Yeah.
Just like it took you some searching to find a good house help, good staff, good. These things, they take some searching.
Yeah.
Let us be ready for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's true. Thank you for that show, and thank you for demystifying this divorce thing. Many people think that it's a sign of lack of wisdom.
Right.
Because the Bible says a wise woman builds her home.
Yeah.
So it's been associated with wisdom or the lack of it.
Correct.
Yeah, but sometimes it's another way of evolving.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we are really hoping to see you at the May 11th, 2024 Millionaire Moves Conference. Are you a millionaire in the making? Are you already a millionaire and you want to know how to smoothen your moves? Please, we are really looking forward to see you at the conference. Find out information on benjaminzuluglobal.com, how you can get your tickets. Make sure you're there. 10 a.m. is the starting time and will be done by 4 p.m. Lunch is provided. It's always amazing.
This is the Benjamin Zulu Global. Welcome our viewers from all over the world to the home of the Heartmans. We're converging to learn together, because when you know better, you can do better. And a better life is what we all want. Better work life, better family life, better personal